Oi! So Señor Chuleta tells me about this place, Los Angeles. It's warm, he says. They have hills that catch fire. And they had a mayor whose job was the mountain. When the mountain burned, she was in Africa. Rule 1. We didn't even write this down. When your mountain burns, you don't leave the mountain. She left the mountain. Cut the fire money, left the hydrants dry. Walked off the plane and a man asked her, anything to say to your people? Oi! She looked right through him. Bob found this upsetting. Bob doesn't understand most things, but Bob understood that. A mountain in the west made of golden fire. They called it the Palisades. I what a pyre. 13,000 homes turned to ash and smoke and ruin, while the mayor crossed the ocean. Tell me, what was she pursuing? She made a promise, she swore she'd stay. Then the winds came howling and she flew away. 17 million cut from the fire brigade, hydrants running dry while the Palisades burned and frayed. Oi, the mayor was in Ghana when the mountain burned. The hydrants had no water, lessons not been learned. She said, find your help at URL. What does that mean? We don't have those back home, but it sounds obscene. The Palisades are ashes, and she's on a plane. A dwarf would never leave again. $1.3 billion for homeless, half of it sat untouched. The fire trucks sat broken, cause the mechanics' budget clutched. They wrote a report on what happened, then they changed it to hide what the first report said. They rearranged it. She walked off a plane and the man asked her plain, anything to say for the folk in the flame? She stared straight ahead like a stone doesn't feel, or a dwarf stares like that when he's broken his deal. Oi, the mayor was in Ghana when the mountain burned. The hydrants had no water, lessons not been learned. She said, find your help at URL. What does that mean? We don't have those back home, but it sounds obscene. The Palisades are ashes, and she's on a plane. A dwarf would never leave again. Back in the mountain, we have one rule left. When the stone above you shakes, you stand and hold your breath. You don't pack your kit and hop the next coal cart. You stand your bloody ground, because the mountain is your heart. I've seen goblins run the tide of ship in tunnels underground. At least a goblin's honest when the ceiling's coming down. 13,000 homes, 13,000 gone, and she doctored the report so nobody knew what went wrong. Enough. Where I'm from, you don't stay after you've burned the mountain. You don't get to keep the keys. Chuleta told me about a man named Pratt. Doesn't sound like a warrior name. Sounds like something you'd call a small goat. But his house was in the Palisades, it burned. And on the 1-year anniversary, he went back to the ash. And he stood there, and he said, they let us burn! Aye, that's a dwarf. I don't know his politics. I know he was at the mountain, and she was not. That's enough for me. Oi, send the mayor back to Ghana, she can stay. The Palisades, remember what she threw away. We've got a man who stood in ash and said enough is done. Brat was at the mountain, base was on the run. The mountain needs a keeper who will hold the line. The dwarf So that was California. Cut the fire money. Flew to Africa, said URL. 13,000 homes. Then changed the report. I'm endorsing the wee goat man Pratt. He went back to the ash. That's the only qualification that matters. Bob, we're leaving. Bye. Bob, put down the fire hydrant. Bye. It doesn't work anyway. That's the whole point.